Emery Csulak. I'm the CISO over at the Department of Energy, and before that I was the CISO at Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Deputy and Acting CISO for the Department of Homeland Security. So, over the last decade, really just seeing the challenges that are facing us, and they started really heavily when I was working with a healthcare sector, and it's continued as I've worked into the energy sector of how do we ask better questions and get better answers and get away from subjective perceptions. So, that really kind of drove me when I got to energy to say, how can we do this at a large federal agency, and how can we start getting that buy-in that we need to make this a success and really change the mindsets and help our boots on the ground defend their budgets, defend their decisions, and make better decisions.
From your perspective, this notion of a risk management program that actually works, what does that mean?
Department of Energy is a highly federated environment. So we have people working in open science, we have nuclear stockpile protections, we have power delivery across the country. And what we realize is that in order for this federated environment to be successful, they need to be able to make honest risk decisions at the level where they affect their operational capabilities, whether or not it's with science or nuclear protection. And what we really came down to is kind of two goals for our cyber program of what we really want and our risk program of what we want. We want to be able to make better informed decisions. We're not going to make the best, we're not going to make the perfect decision, we're going to make a better decision than we were making yesterday. And the second part of it is, are we asking the right questions? So there's two pieces to this. Are we asking the right questions because so long we've been trained and we've been educated in these other models that we've lost the ability to ask the right questions in many cases. And the second part is, are we making just an incremental improvement? Can we make a slightly better decision today? Can we make a slightly better decision the next day? So that we're able to have more meaningful executive conversations. So when I look at, what do we really want out of our program, it's those two things. Ask good questions, make better decisions, and that will drive a secure program, a better defendable program, one that can, create a defensible budget and go to Congress and defend that budget with more meaningful information, or just to leadership who doesn't understand how to talk about risk and security in the same conversation. Our biggest obstacle was ourselves. We're looking at how we can integrate quantified risk management, and we go into the model and we go into the thinking that our biggest challenge is going to be our biggest detractor. It's going to be our biggest naysayer. It's going to be our biggest person pushing back. And in reality, we didn't need the perfect methodology. We didn't need the perfect standard operating procedures. I didn't need the perfect set of metrics. What I just needed to do is start doing the work. We started needing to do analysis. We needed to start talking with people about initiatives and projects that we could, apply our analysis on. So if you go in there and you think, oh, well, I'm going to have to lay this out, I'm going to have to, come up with excuses for everything that, or arguments for everything that everyone's going to have an excuse on, our biggest problem was ourselves in the fact that we wanted perfect, knowing that that wasn't actually achievable. And what we had to do is we had to say, what do we need to actually just get started today? We need to all be talking the same language. Let's get some basic training in there. And let's just start doing the work. Because ultimately, the SOPs, the methodologies, and everything will come as we practice it, as we become better at it. Because guess what? We're going to ask better questions the more of this we do. It's not about trying to anticipate every question that was going out. So in the end, we're not going to worry about convincing 100,000 people that they need to go to quantified metrics. What we want to do is we want to talk about, here's what we've done, here are the people, and we have several of the national labs here today, here are the people who wanted to buy in early, who saw the value in this. We built these stories, we built these examples, we've built these experiences that tell our story. And then the policies and the procedures are falling out naturally based on how we actually did the work, not on how we thought we should be doing the work in the long run. So in summary, our biggest problem was ourselves and just kind of letting go and letting this take movement and talking to the people. We talked to, I don't know how many vendors on their quantified risk management approaches, and some of them are in the room today as well, in terms of how do we get past the thinking of the problem and go into the doing of the problem.